Right, hello guys. So we're just going to go over some basic knife skills today, and I do stress the point, it's just the very basics of knife skills. I'm going to be using two knives just to demonstrate. I've got a chef knife, normal size chef knife, and so it's not the large one, just the average size chef knife, and a utility knife. The reason you could use two, utility knife is obviously smaller, so it's more nimble, a little bit easier to handle. For the bigger vegetables, or even the smaller ones, you can still use a chef knife. Some people find it a bit heavy. I personally prefer the utility knife just because it is smaller and lighter, but you can do the same stuff with a chef knife as well. So the first point to talk about, and probably the most important point, is the grip on your knife, how you hold your knife. With these two knives, it is going to be the same grip. Obviously it will be a little bit tighter with this knife than on this knife because you have a bit more space at the back. So the point to stress the most is that each knife has its own balancing point, being somewhere between where the handle starts, where the handle and the knife join together. It's normally just in front of it, but that will be like a balancing point. On this one is literally just on where they join together. So the reason for noting that is because that is going to be the most comfortable position to hold the knife, because you're not fighting against the weight. If you was holding it too far back, it would just be out of balance. Because the balancing point is there, it's the easiest point, the easiest position to hold the knife. The same thing on this one. Again, it literally is right there also. It's right on the joint, so it's normally between the handle and the knife joint. Obviously it might be different on some knives, it depends how your knife's weighted, but on these two it's right there. So again, you're holding it just on that point. What you don't want to be doing is putting your finger down the blade, because then you're just upsetting the balance too much and you're losing control. You're putting too much pressure on that finger. So I'll show on this one because it's a bit bigger to demonstrate. So it's just a nice hold, soft hold. You're not holding it tight, just soft. Very soft, okay? Right. cucumber, however much you want to use, peel that first. I personally don't like the green, so if you like the green, obviously don't peel it, leave it on, but I prefer it off. So this is how much cucumber I want. Again, just using a peeler. You can use a knife, but peeler is so efficient, so quick. It's just a better tool to use. Alright, so you don't have to take it all off. Alright, so there. Again. Right, with the cucumber it's a lot wetter than some of the other vegetables, so I do cut this one in half. Then you've got a much more stable base. If you wish to, you can scrape out the inner side, which again is the seeds and a bit more liquid, so then it becomes a little bit drier, but you will have a smaller cucumber. I'll show you. So you can take that out. Again, so you're left with the outer cucumber. Or using the whole cucumber. So again, with the technique, it's all about just going slow, no rushing. Just having that knuckle just touching the knife, or the knife just touching the knuckle, fingers back, slowly pushing through. I'm just using the rocking motion, very basic motion, or if you prefer, forward slice. That's that. Alright, we'll do the onion. Do the spring onions next. I just do one at a time. I've already washed them. Just take the end off. Take some of the back green off. This green is all edible. The whole thing's edible, but I don't like the ends. The outer layer. Right, so it's just again the same thing. Using the utility knife now because you've got on a smaller vegetable, so I'm using a smaller, easy to handle knife. And just slowly do it. Build up that technique and get better as you go. There's no need to go fast. That's it. There's there. Do one more. Take off that outer layer. Dry my hand that I'm holding the knife with, and again on the knuckle, pushing through. So that's that one done. Now I'll do the big onion. Alright, so we peel these first. Okay, so for the larger onions, you have a root coming through the middle. You'll see that when I cut it in half, it comes out the top as well. So we chop off just the end of the root and the top of the top. And there you can see that root which goes all the way through the middle to where the root was. The importance of that is that has got strength in it, so it tends to hold the onion together. So when you cut it in half, try and cut it right down the middle, because then that sort of holds your onion together when you're cutting it. So this was the root end. I've gone straight down in between it, so down the middle. And now that will give some strength in the onion, so basically when you're cutting it, it stays together. Right, the middle bit there just fell out. Okay, so we've got our onion cut in half. Again, we've got our root end here and our top end here. So the strength that holds the onion together is in the root end. So we want to leave that at the back and leave that intact, because it will help to hold the onion together whilst we're cutting it. If we cut through it fully, the onion will start to fall apart, and then it's going to be difficult to cut the onion safely. So again, going through the top end, we want to put some slices through, holding your hand on top just lightly to gently hold the onion in position. Use the knife as a saw, so saw through, don't try and push through. Obviously we don't want any accidents of the knife coming through and going into the back of your arm or wherever. So sawing through, not all the way through the back, so just stop at a point and come back. Do another slice. Then I'll do one more. Well, this onion's quite big, I can even do one more, just a slight one, being very careful, like that, and then doing it this way now. So again, you're not going all the way through the back, leaving the actual onion intact. Now, we can either do our rocking motion, sliding the onion through, do it as thick or thin as you want, or we can do our slicing motion. And then you can make it even smaller by just rocking through. This is our diced onion. Obviously keep going if you want it really diced up, nice and tiny, then you can just keep doing this a bit longer, but that is it, that's diced onion. So I'm going to chop up my peppers now. So one of the easiest ways that I find to break these up is to push this through and pull it out, and you get that big bit come out. Do a couple bangs, you get some seeds come out. There's not many seeds in this one, so I'll move this one out of the way for now. Cut it in half. Put that over there. Use my utility knife. I like to cut these white little bits away, being very careful. There. There. Cut it down there. That's the insides of the half of this pepper taken out. And again, you can cut it into strips. Strips going that way. Or put some slices through it, but not all the way through. And you can cut it into chunks. The yellow one, push it through, pull it out, gets most of the seeds left on that then, put it over there, a couple bangs off, cut it in half, there, bang some of those out, let's move some of those seeds over. See how I was using the back of my blade. If I was using the front, I'd be making it a bit more dull. So try and save the blade where you can, use the back of it. Cut that bit out. Right, cut that in half. Right, I'm going to cut these into strips. Let's put